Bro, Hollywood P reacts.
What's good, YouTube? It's your dude Hollywood P, back again for another video. Now, as always, folks, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also turn on your post notifications so that you stay up to date with all of my latest uploads. Alright guys, we are back once again, and today we will be discussing DDG, Halle Bailey, Halo, and allegedly DDG maybe wanting one more child, and we'll get into that in a second. So as we know, today is the day, guys. This is the Funny Mike Streamers prom. DDG and India Love will be there together. That is his prom date. As we know, Johnny is no longer his cameraman. Pretty much they came to some type of mutual agreement. And as we know, Johnny was getting pretty big, on stream. He had fans running up to him while he was holding the camera for DDG. So I guess that kind of got to him, and every man has their own path that they must take. So DDG allowed him to pretty much go on his own path and start, streaming himself, which he, I looked and peeked at his Twitch, and he had 2,000 people in there watching him. So maybe it might work. Good luck to Johnny, man, and all your future endeavors. But also Johnny and Evelyn will also be at the Streamers Prom with Funny Mike. So yeah, stay tuned. So I'm sure that's going to be interesting. Now back to the main entree. We're going to be talking about DDG and why it's a possibility that he wants another child. Okay, so as we know, all of the stuff, the controversy that DDG is currently going through with Halle Bailey for, trying to see Halo, kind of when he wants to see Halo, and he's unable to. It was pretty much what was brought to my attention was that Halle said, hey, if you don't want me, you can't have Halo either. So she went on about her life, and, that includes Halo going with her. So, hey, either me and us, or you don't get nothing. Or you get Halo for 6 hours a week or whatever she's trying to do. So it's just, DDG's going through it. He misses Halo because you got to look at DDG is a successful, entrepreneur. Started with YouTube, got into music, got a couple of platinum singles, got a gold single. Hey, he's pretty successful. Got into streaming. Now he's like number 4 streamer in the world. I mean, everything he touches turns to gold, except for the Halo situation. The biggest accomplishment for DDG is having a son. That was like the cherry on top. That completed the circle. That completed his life. He wanted a kid. He got a boy. He always wanted a boy so he can play basketball with him. He can take him to Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios, you name it. But unfortunately, there's a roadblock. And that roadblock is held by Halle Bailey, who is currently in Italy filming her film Italiano. And as we know, DDG has been trying to stay busy. Of course, after he leaves Houston with this prom and his after party and all this stuff, all the fun with India Love, he will be heading over to Chicago for a show. I think Dub's going to be over there with him because he's got to do his whole Bloodhound Dub thing and try to meet the gang and everything he's got going on. So he's going to do that, probably going to try to live stream it or make YouTube videos and all that. But back to DDG. So DDG hinted that he's going to be doing, of course, some type of reality love type of show, like a Flavor of Love type of TV show, or not TV show, but for streaming. And he's going to have girls fighting for his love. We've seen this multiple times for the love of Ray J. Of course, we can say Flavor of Love. I think the Stallionaires had something like that, like it was Real and Chance. Rest in peace to Real. I think he's deceased now. But everybody has done something like this. Even Drewski. Drewski did it for YouTube. So now it's DDG's turn. And I think this is a great idea. I think this will be a very successful idea because DDG is very entertaining nonetheless. Now, when we're talking about him having a child, he actually said that the winner will get a baby by him. He was just joking, but there's always some truth in every joke. DDG feels like, and this is all alleged, folks, he just feels like he doesn't think he can get the upper hand on Halle. Ultimately, he'll be having Halo on certain days that might not align with his schedule while he's working. Trying to, bring in more income. He got to pay his mom's mortgage and everything. He's just got a lot of overhead. He has to be able to pay his bills. So by him being assigned certain days is going to kind of cut into that. So I think DDG just kind of like tossed it in the air and just letting the courts do what the courts do. But at the same time, he was like, well, it's not like my sperm don't work anymore. The next option is having another baby by another woman. But this time he says he wants to get married and do it through the proper channels. You know what I mean? So he won't ever have to run into this type of situation again. And with DDG, I definitely agree with him. Get married so you can have some type of, you know what I mean, some type of fight in this type of battle when it comes to the courts and kids. If you're not married to this woman and you had a baby, she's got 100% of all the rights. It's hard to fight that no matter what type of money you have, unless she was out here, you know, drinking or getting high, doing drugs and stuff like that, and shown on film or something that she's an unfit mother. It's not going to work. Ultimately, Halle Bailey will win this, and you'll be stuck with 6 hours of whatever court monitored visitation or whatever she put in that her restraining order and stuff like that. It's going to be something similar to that, versus the 50-50 custody that you allegedly wanted from the beginning. Now I think you want 100% custody. You know, all in all, I hope you guys can work that out. But like you say, DDG, you still have options, and you did. Like you say, you was pretty much down for that. The next woman, because you know you're going to get into another relationship. But this time, don't be scared to put the ring on the finger. Make sure she's right, man. Make sure, if I was DDG, I would do this. I wouldn't date any more entertainers. I think that's where he's really messing up at. You know, dating people that's got clout and got a fan base. You need to date like a nurse, somebody with a 9-to-5 that's not really like social media bound. Maybe she might have a cool little Instagram or something to post pictures of her, but nothing major, nothing over 2,000 followers or 1,000 followers, something small, you know. And I think that could work for you, you know, because she'll be all more about you. You know, I think versus somebody already having money, having fame, and then you trying to match the two, it's just not going to work. I know you always say that you want another chick that's like, you know what I'm saying, you want a chick that's already bossed up. That's where you're making a mistake, because it's hard for you to have any voice with a woman that's already got everything for herself. She doesn't need you for nothing. If I'm already rich and you're rich, nothing you can do for me that I can't do for myself. I can buy myself a Rolls Royce. I can buy myself a Lamborghini. I can buy myself a Ferrari. I can buy myself a house. You can't do nothing for me. So they're not threatened by what you hold over their head. So you'll never win in that. You know, and Halle was a super duper star when you met her. You know what I mean? Like, she was a superstar before anything, but then when you met her, she was a super duper star because of The Little Mermaid. Like I say, out here in LA and all that Hollywood area stuff, the metro buses were riding around, which is the cat buses or the city buses or whatever you guys call them in your city. Halle Bailey body was plastered over the sides of the bus, riding around the entire city of Los Angeles, California. Billboards, everything. Hollywood shut down. Little Mermaid this, Little Mermaid that. The only other movie that I've seen they do it like that and it goes that crazy was a Batman film. Batman, the last Batman that was out there, it was crazy, just like that. So Halle Bailey has been plastered all over Hollywood. She's a superstar. And you always have to remember, she's A-list celebrity. She's an A-list celebrity signed to Beyonce at Parkwood Entertainment. You can't trump that. Nothing you do, Didi. You understand what I'm saying? Streaming is cool. It's a big platform, but what she's doing is like, she's got the Hollywood. She's got it on lock. And I'm out here. I'm telling you, it's really like that. So, far as, like I say, DDG having a kid, another baby, do it through the proper channels, but do not try to impregnate another superstar. That's the issue. Get a nurse. You know what I mean? Get a cool secretary that's like a secretary to maybe like a law firm or something like that. You need somebody on that level. You get what I'm saying? Stop trying to date a celebrity to match your energy. You be the boss. You be the celebrity. Let her be kind of like how, you know, how Dub is. Dub's got a Leah, you know, but Leah works a regular job. You know, Dub is looked at as the money man. You know, he's the superstar. You know, of course they have their issues, but she has, like, Dub had to buy her a vehicle. She needs him. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want any woman that can buy her own stuff. And she'd be like, oh, you won't get me that Rolls Royce? Well, I'll go just do it myself. That's the type of woman you've been dating, bro. That ain't gonna work in this world. A bossed up woman ain't gonna work for you, brother. Especially you can't out ego a woman that's popping just as hard as you. out here in this world. I'm just keeping it real. But I do think, like I said, DDG will eventually have another baby because that's what he really wants. He's got everything going for him. He's famous. He's got the streaming world on lock. I think he's like number 3 or number 4 streamer in the world under Casadat and a few others. He's there. He made it. He's rich. He does what he want to do. It's just him. Just only thing he's missing is that baby in the relationship. You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, I am going to end it there. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And as always, folks, as always, holla back at your boy. Peace.